Your body is an intuitive vessel that is consistently conveying messages to you on an intuitive level. See, intuition starts off inside of our heart, inside of our chest, and then it will then send messages to our mind by dropping in little beautiful droplets of thoughts, ideas, and consciousness into our reality for us to be able to grasp what that intuitive message is. But if we are still not hearing it, then it will start to play out through our physical structure, through pain. And each part of our physical body holds a different emotional storage behind it. And that's the emotions, the stories, the wiring in your thinking that is you're doing something on a consistent basis, like having a consistent thought. And what that does is it sends a neurological response from your brain down through your spinal column, and then that response to your physical body. And each different part holds a different emotional response. Now, recently, including myself, this hence why I'm also doing the video, I've been noticing so many incredibly bad accidents, injuries that people have had, or women that have been laid up in bed with extremely bad colds and flus, or some form of sickness that's kept them bedridden. Now, most of these are totally out of the question for most of these people that these are occurring for. They're random injuries that have happened out of nowhere that have left them severely injured. These people that have been getting severely sick, and that's completely out of the ordinary for them. And there is a message for you in that. Now, the message that I've been becoming aware of is the fact that 99% of this is happening to women, incredibly strong women. Now, if you're an incredibly strong woman and you haven't had an injury or an illness or a sickness or something that's laid you up, doesn't mean that there is something wrong with you. So I just wanted to share that with you. I just wanted to do this video for those women who are experiencing these kind of things, to be able to shed some light on what potentially could be going on for them, so that they can gain a new level of understanding and to be able to take away the lesson for why something has occurred, so that they can find a new way of doing, a new way of being, and a new way of thinking. So, as I was saying, this is usually for most of the incredibly strong women that are happening out there, that are having these severe injuries and illnesses occur to them. And the purpose behind that is to make you stop. It's a really hard thing for a strong woman, is to just stop. They're so ingrained to just go, go, go all the time. Be everyone's rock, be everyone's support system, be that martyr, be that strong identity that everyone is drawn to because of your strength. But this is the moment where that inner strength is now coming to a point where that inner strength has come from a masculine aspect. And now it's time for us as strong women to be able to access that feminine strength that we talk about. And most people identify feminine strength with vulnerability, and that is an aspect or a component, but it's not all that it's supposed to be. This feminine strength that is coming through is to teach you how to learn to ask for help. It's also asking you to go in and ask the question of what is so important for you right at this point. Because that masculine, strong female out there does everything for everyone else and usually puts themselves on the back burner, and then will have pinges or moments where they get frustrated because they're sick and tired of being there for everyone else and no one's there for them. So this is the moment where that shift in thinking is now occurring, because these injuries and sicknesses that are laying you up is to, one, teach you to ask for help. Something that is usually so incredibly out of the question for an incredibly strong person is to ask for help graciously, and then to allow yourself to receive it. Because it's one thing to ask for help, but sometimes it's done in an unproductive way, which is done through arguments or resent or screaming and yelling. This is that moment to be, because these illnesses and injuries are bringing up a massive level of vulnerability because you aren't capable of doing these things. Most of the times, the people that I've seen that are really hurt at the moment are arms, shoulders, legs, feet, broken toes, lots of different things. And they are things that body parts that we need to use on a day-to-day basis. There's nothing that you can't do that doesn't require your arms and legs especially. And so therefore, when they're incapacitated, you're incapable of just doing the small day-to-day things that you would just naturally do without even thinking about it. And now is the moment that you need to be able to let people come in and help and support you at this time. The exact same thing that you would do for everyone else. But now it's your turn to flip that around and allow yourself to be receivers. Because most of the time, masculine, strong women are very good givers, not so great at being receivers. So this feminine element is about learning to receive graciously, and know that there shows no weakness by being able to ask for help. It actually takes so much courage for an incredibly strong masculine woman to ask for help and allow themselves to receive it, because there is somewhere in their thinking that makes them think that they have to do everything on their own, that they are that super strong person, and so therefore they don't need that help like other people do, because you're quite sufficient to get it on your own. And you know what? Guess what? 9 times out of 10 you are. This is not a sign of weakness. This is a moment to teach you to learn to ask for help. Reach out for that support. Allow yourself to receive, but also to go in and seek what is the most important thing for you in your life. I know myself at Christmas, I jumped off a houseboat and landed awkwardly and tore all the inside of my thigh muscle and was unable to walk, was unable to do a lot of things, and I needed to ask people for help. And that was really difficult, but it made me also go in and become incredibly quiet and look at what was that I was seeking. What was the most important thing that I had needed in my life right now? And through that quietness and those moments of vulnerability is going to bring up a real truth for you. And sometimes that can be so incredibly different than the direction that you're going in. And it doesn't mean that the direction you were going in was wrong. It just means that sometimes we're out of alignment with what our truth is, because we are so busy being busy for everyone else that we forget to check in with our own self. So these accidents and injuries and illnesses that are laying you up in bed is to go in and ask these powerful questions so that you can realign yourself, gain more focus, allow that vulnerability to come up, and recognize that there is a great deal of strength in that vulnerability. Now, don't get me wrong, it doesn't always feel fabulous when you are learning to adapt to that vulnerability. If you're someone that's been incredibly strong all the time, to feel vulnerable doesn't feel nice, it doesn't feel good. So there's that moment to rewire that thinking, and in those moments of vulnerability, allow yourself to feel into it. Allow yourself to feel what it's like to be receiving. Because what this does is it helps you also establish amazing relationships. Now, when you are the person that is always constantly giving, the relationship is always going to have of some form out of balance. And now by you being injured, sick, you are now having to ask people for help, and people are also naturally wanting to help you at the same time too, is allowing you to open up the relationship, for you to let them see that there is a vulnerability in you, allowing others to help support you and give back a small token of all of what you have helped others with. And sometimes that can be a bit of a hard pill for people to swallow. So just be gentle with yourself if you're not used to that vulnerability, because I know that I wasn't. It just sort of felt really unfamiliar, yet it was so nice at the same token to know that there was so much support around at that time to be able to help me, and that felt so incredibly powerful to know that it was my turn to receive, and that there was people there, that I didn't have to do everything on my own. And I know that's how everyone else will be feeling, but it's just usually not a conversation that we talk about, because we still want to keep that identity of being strong. Now, there is nothing wrong with that. You can still be an incredibly strong female, but the scales of balance need to be equal between how much you give and how much you receive. And that all begins with the permission that you give to yourself by allowing yourself to receive it, and do it so in a way that is so gracious, and not having this undertone of thanks so much, but I didn't really need your help because I could have done it on my own. That is so not gracious. This is that moment, because then it's like a slap in the face for the people that are coming in to help you. This is that moment where you can go, thank you so much. This is exactly what I needed. And I so appreciate the help that you are giving me, because you know what? If you can't give a grateful compliment of letting people know how gracious you are for them to help you, that means you're also not gracious in allowing yourself to receive the compliments of the people that are in your world that you have helped, and you've dismissed it like it's nothing. But to that other person, it's huge. So don't dismiss it. Take a little bit of quiet time to go in and ask yourself what is really going on in your world, and what is the underlying message that has made you come to a screaming halt? Because I tell you, when you have an accident or a really bad injury or get laid up in bed, it's a screaming halt. And that quietness and that stillness is confronting for some people. So learn to be okay with that. But this is a really great moment to go in and contemplate, where is your life at? Is it on track? What is it that you need and want for yourself at this point? And then once you have received those answers, which may take a day or so don't worry if the immediate answers don't come to you. Don't worry, they will come up. That when you find out what the answers are to what you are seeking, then put in place a new way of doing and a new way of being to match this beautiful new person that is developing within you, so that there is an awesome mesh between how much you execute that masculine female side and also that feminine female side within yourself. We are supposed to have a mesh of both of these qualities, but a lot of the time these injuries and accidents and illnesses are just more predominantly to incredibly strong women. And now your time of change and transformation is being brought to the forefront from your soul intuitively to say, hey, it's time to start doing and being something different. Now, every part of our physical body holds a different emotional state. So I have added at the end of this video two little pictures so that you can see what reference points different parts of your physical body may mean. Now, this is just a generalized overview. Obviously, in more detail, there are more curious questions. Do you know what I mean? As in, this is just going to give you your head, your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your legs, your stomach, your knees, the main parts, but every element of ourself holds an emotional response. And that's our intuition speaking to us to let us know through our physical structure that there is an emotional block going on there. And it's bringing this to your attention so that you can recalibrate yourself, so that you're more in alignment with the truth, with the new person that you are growing into, so that you can start emanating this new energy within your own self and learning something new about yourself, that you can be an incredibly strong feminine female, and that using the masculine all the time is not always to your benefits, that there are other ways of doing it. Remember, there is always more than one way to achieve the goal, and now this is your time for change is coming across you in a screaming halt way. And I'm telling you, it doesn't feel awesome in that moment, but there is a beautiful message there for you if you're willing to go in and ask those really powerful questions and allow the answers that you are seeking to be revealed to you. because there is a beautiful message. It doesn't feel like it when you're hurt. I tell you, it doesn't feel fabulous at all. But if you can take from this experience only the lesson, then that will be the greatest gift that you can. So you can turn something that may not feel like an awesome experience and flip it over and turn it into being a real catalyst for change for you, that new positive input to be able to put you back into alignment with your own truth. So if this is something that's occurring for you, I hope you can take some piece of gold away from this video. And if there is someone that you know that could use listening to this video because they themselves may have hurt themselves, had an accident, an injury, or been laid up in bed sick, please feel free to share this. So much love to you all. And the ladies that have hurt themselves, been laid up or in bed sick, I wish you all the very best and hope that you recover well. And remember, taking care of you is your number one priority. It is now your time to receive and to give back to your own self and start living your own truth. Take care, guys.